3, 2, 1, go!
Bingo! That's right, Fellas Ain't Failure podcast. We are back in the building where purpose never dies and we live life by the advantage. You got your boy, Coach Chuck. I'm in the building. My normal crew not here today, but check it out. I got a guest in. Real quiet spoken guy, but I know he got a lot to say. I bumped into him coming in and out the building, had an opportunity to chat with him a little bit. And this is our Felon X series. This is one of my institution brothers. You know, he done time as well as me. He's actually done more time than me. But from 1 day to 1,000 days, it's still the same. And we still got the same mark on our life. So I want to introduce the one and only. He going to tell you a lot about himself. This is my boy, Sevv. Sevv is in the building. Appreciate you for coming through today.
You know, it's a good honor. You know, we had some great conversation starters, so I want to further it. Yeah, you know, being a felon, a lot of people it makes life harder until you just don't let that be the thing that categorizes you. Because it's like, at one point, I settled for less, working at minimum wage jobs
Yes,
to
sir.
5-star restaurants when I'm like, man, I know what I'm doing. Like, so it's like, people like face tap. My mom like, don't get that, you'll never find a job. Like, jokes on you. But yeah, you know, it's just a lot of stereotypical stuff people don't understand because a lot of people are so stuck on what they see on TV. So even when it came to just me getting out and was it like this? Was it? No, that's TV.
Yeah.
That might be like some of the stuff, like the violent stuff they see from movies and stuff might be in California or like over there, but here is over like 50 something. It's over, I think, 100 something institutions in Florida. So it's like each one different.
Each one different, yeah. And that was my experience even when I did my time. That, you know, kind of that perception of what prison is. Then when you get there, you know, as guys, we getting up, going to work every day, going to the rec yard after work, going to the chow yard, watching TV, playing chess, playing cards. It's like a community behind the fence. You know what I'm saying? And people think of those movies, man. And they just got a big misconception. And for some reason they think like we're different. We're a different type of human being. You know what I'm saying? I understand like I'm just like you. And I never understood, well, I guess I do understand because of the way the system is set up in the world, why people look at us like we're indifferent, like we don't deserve the right to have the same opportunities in life that they have. We got a shirt that we have that says the only difference between me and you is I got caught. Yeah, that's the only difference.
I know that's the truth though.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
So, but we this platform, man. I started this platform because I want people to understand, man, that not only do we think like them, we think better than them. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of situations, we are more creative. We are very intelligent. We are very resourceful. You know what I'm saying? I even had a situation, dog, when we was in what was that, Lakeland? We was in Lakeland, vending an event, and this guy came up to me and he got into a conversation and he said that they have never hired a felon in their organization. So, and peep these words, they took the chance and hired this one felon, and he excelled every employee they had. As a matter of fact, he is the guy that they sent him to travel around the world to represent the company and do all these meetings. So this is what the man asked me. He said, I want to connect with you and, and figure out how can I get more felons. And I think that's what I want to open people's eyes to, that we are the last of a dying breed. We him. You know what I'm saying? Just people got to give us a chance. But I want them to kind of get to know a little bit more about you before you went to prison. So tell us, like, what was life like before prison?
oh, just average teen running the streets, you know, with the people who, you know, doing stuff that I thought was cool.
Yeah.
It was crime. You don't know like how much trouble crime can get you in. You don't care about doing it. So it's like back then there was a lot of stuff that was going on that when you're doing it, you're just doing it. Then when you get caught, and it's like, damn, this much time for just doing this. It's like, sheesh. I did this one time and I got 10 years. And like I say, it's like off of being caught. Some of those times, like, you know, sometimes you would get a lot of time. And it said for the stuff that you didn't get caught for.
That's right.
So it's just like, man, it's a chance to get set down. 'Cause sometimes they also say it's saving you. Because it's like, A lot of people might go do the same thing you did and don't make it back. Depending on what the crime is. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like some people I know that back then in '08 when burglaries were popular, climbing the windows and get shot.
Yeah.
Could have been me.
Yes, sir.
It's like
Definitely. But your life was spared for a reason. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But I like the way you said some time to sit down. I hate when people talk about like jailhouse religion and stuff like that, because I'm one of the people. And we had a brief conversation about faith. I'm in the faith of Christ. That's my thing. But that time when I got locked up in '95, that was the time that I decided to give my life to God. There was a man in my cell, and I noticed I think I had a carjacking and a possession of cocaine and a firearm pistol. So I'm in maximum facility. Then I get moved over to the Orange, and I noticed when I was in that cell, and I just want to share this story. I was in that cell, and there was a guy who was on the top tier, and I noticed everybody who goes in and out that they went to his cell, when they go to court, they would get out. You know what I'm saying? So, me, I'm criminal minded. I'm like, I got to go find out what's going on. I want to get out of here. So come to find out, the man was doing he would do like a personal Bible study. So I talked with the guy, and when I went to meet with the guy, no lie, man, nothing spectacular. The man had a piece of paper, and on the paper, he had one hand traced out, and it had like murder, robbery, drugs, rape. And then on the other hand, it had like life, love, peace, joy, happiness. And the man showed me the piece of papers. He said, "This is the life you living. This is the life God wants you to live." Sent me back to my bunk. Off those 2 sheets of paper, man, my whole life changed. And it wasn't about I'm in jail on my way to prison. I got to figure out, how I'm gonna maneuver this thing, whatever. The man showed me a drawing of sins and so since you would say darkness, and a drawing of light. And I was penetrated down in my soul, dog. But if it had not been for me being in jail and meeting that man, I'd probably be somewhere dead. I done did time in drug rehab. I'd probably be somewhere strong. I used to be on cocaine. I used to mix my cocaine with reefer, all kind of stuff. Like, I don't know where my life would it be if I hadn't went to jail in 1995. So I hate when people talk about jailhouse religion, and I say that because you said sometimes we need time to sit down to be able to discover who we are and to discover who created us and build a relationship with him, whatever that is to us. And that is very important. And so I always talk to my felons like, man, don't be ashamed to come out of incarceration with a new look on God, with a new look on life, with having a spiritual journey in your life. Like, some of us, it takes some of that. Some of us have to go to those places to be able to hear the voice of God in our life. So I thank God for that. I like that you said that about some time to sit down. But do you remember, I want to know, because I like to hear people's story, and I can share mine with you. Do you remember the day that you got arrested?
Yeah.
Talk about that day, from the time you got out that morning. Because it's very interesting. Some of the stories be very interesting. And again, they just got to get to know who we are, though. So if you can remember, talk about from the time you got up, whatever you could share what your day was like to the time you got in that police car.
So I was actually, I believe, I was 16 or 17, or 16 turning 17, and I was actually asleep. Come to my house. Hey, we need you. They say it's the worst thing to do, to get up and go do something fresh out of your sleep. And it's like, I was down for whatever. It's like, oh man, it's a house over here with this and that and that. And I'm just like, all right, go in there, do it, boom, boom. Police come right to my house. They talk to us, they leave. Co-defendant, they follow him home. Came back later, surrounded my house, got me, took me to JDC. I'm sitting in there, walk in cuffs, and he behind a glass door. So I'm like, whole time, he done told on me. He told everything. I'm just like, I didn't know until I actually got locked up. So
Yeah.
sitting in there, it's 2 ladies on phones letting people call their family. So I'm sitting there, she's like, he got a PBL. That's punishable by life. I'm looking at the kid that she in front of. I'm like, damn. Then she went, I sat, she called, she's like, yeah, hell, this so-and-so from whatever. We got your son here. He's facing battery burglary with Miguel punched me about life. Then, shit, she was talking about me. I'm like, damn. So she like, punched me about life. Mom went to crying. I'm just, but then it's like, they let them come get me. So I got picked up. They let me go. Then they came and charged me as an adult. And that's when they came back and got me.
Direct
And,
file.
Yeah, I got direct file. I sat in there for 8 months. That was in like 08. I think I was 17. I turned 18 in the county. So I got out on probation. I think I signed like 18 months probation. But then it's like turning 18. I don't know. I wanted to party still. I was young. Drinking, violated probation. Went back in and got 10.
10
So
the hard way.
when I got, so back then they were doing a 10-20 life. So 10, if you got a firearm, 20 if you shoot somebody, life if you kill them. But it was when they direct filed me, they changed it from battery burglary to armed burglary, which was both still a PBL. But that's how they gave me the 10. So yeah, I got all my paperwork. Followed him home. While they followed him, he told everything. Start to finish, stole shit out my house. He stole my bike. Back when they had the video iPods, he stole that. He stole all my shit. And then my people didn't know because he did it and got away. He got an 8-month drug program. He went to par.
Wow. So,
yeah, but I still wanted in the end because, some stuff happened to him. Like he fell subject to habits. He did an OD.
Okay. All right.
But
That
it's
comes
like
something else.
Yeah, man.
So when like your first day in prison, did you go to Central Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
OCI. It was OCI when you went. Yeah.
I was 19, so I went to
You went to the
juvenile
to the
side.
dorms. Yeah, I was like in the army.
Yeah, marching.
Yeah, because I was on the adult
PT.
side. We used to hear that every
YO.
morning. Hear that. What's some of the
Your 4.5 step march. Your left, right, left.
Yeah. We used to be up for child. We'd hear y'all across the fence. Like, man, I'm glad I'm grown in prison. And they had y'all up early every morning. But in prison, so from there, where did you go from there?
So I say I did 8 months. I got on probation, violated. Then I did like another however long until they sentenced me. And then I went 17. So it was I turned 18, went back, violated in like 2.5 months, something like that. Then I went back. I got sentenced when I was 19 to the 10. So with the OCI, probably did about 2 months, almost 3. I went to Brevard, which was
You went to a battle camp. Yeah, I've been to.
I went to Brevard.
Yeah.
So my first day there, we was in like an orientation dorm. It wasn't really nothing because it's with people who I was at OCI with.
Yeah.
So I had a couple homies, whatever. Then they went to splitting us up. You in education, you in kitchen, you over here, and it's like I was the only one that just still in there.
Yeah.
They all got moved out. Then they end up, I think somebody either told me to sign up for the kitchen or they put me in the kitchen. I ended up no. I went to a regular dorm. But it was somebody from Largo. Oh, you from St. Pete? Oh, I'm from Largo. Home team, you good, da-da. So they was trying to send a TOH. They didn't want to do it. So my first day in the kitchen, they jumped me. So I'm sitting there eating. Man, you know, like when you get the regular trays, you still be hungry. So they went to putting all these biscuits in, and it was like a Sunday, so it was like biscuits, grits, eggs, all this shit. I got full.
Because you worked in the kitchen.
Yeah, so I got full, and then they talking about, man, tighten up, let's fight. Look at this man like, what? Like, yeah, slide. Like, bro, man, he stole me while I'm sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
I get up, I'm fighting them, then they start jumping me. And the next day, I had to fight 4 people back to back. Then they talking about I folded or whatever. Like, bro, I got jumped.
Yeah.
And still came back to the kitchen the next day. So it was like I fought them people. First person, I think it was a dude from Fort Myers. I beat him.
Yeah.
Beat him bad. Second one, I dropped him. A little stocky dude from Philly, dropped him. I hit him in the eye, he just crumbled. Third one, he dropped me. The fourth one, I beat him up. So I was 3 for 1, but it was the dude from St. Pete who dropped me. That's one of my homies. Like, he hit me with a haymaker, and I just
He probably closed his eyes and hit you too.
I don't know. I caught myself in the push up. I got up because it ain't like once whoever hit the ground first, whatever, like clean break, and then it go to the next person. So they just like line me up, man. And I was good after that. Like I say, ended up getting into a riot and they shut it down. Then I finally went to adult camp. That was in 2011.
What adult camp you went?
My first one was DeSoto.
Oh, okay. Big time now. Everybody I got time.
Yeah, I had 10, so they ran a lifer dorm.
He was in the annex up there.
That's what I was. I was in the lifer dorm.
Okay, yeah. So what's takeaway? Talk to us about your time in prison. What positive reinforcement? What you took away that you can apply to your life now? You have applied, or just as a seed that's in you that you know one day gonna come in this.
So when you are in there with people with life and all that time, like they done been in there, most of them, they done did 10, 20, while they get sitting on life sentences, they done had time to reflect. So they sit you down and like they become like mentors. So a lot of them was like mentors to me. Like I had a homie right now that I still talk to, got 55 years. Got a couple other ones with life that I still reach out to. And it's just like, in there, they try to keep me out of bullshit.
Yeah.
Jitter boy, work out, go do this, like stay away from other. It's like, yeah, and I was listening, but I wasn't listening. I still like, feel me, like, man, I felt some type of way, and we slide in the room. Like, if you gotta go where it needs to go,
we'll take it. Definitely. So when you got out, what was it like? Like what's the first thing you did when you? We're building into something. We're gonna get into this.
I actually was released to work release, so that was my first ever job.
St. Pete.
Yeah, so I was at St. Pete work release. That was my first ever time working. Which at the time my sister worked at Wing House. I already had a secure position there, but they wouldn't let me go. And I ended up going to Macaroni Grill before they tore it down. So that was my first ever job. I started it doing dish. It's like, man, that shit kind of sucked because I gotta go to work. If I don't go to work, I get sent back to prison. While people kept quitting and walking out, and I'm just in there like,
got to take it.
I'm the dishwasher. The other dishwasher walked out, and it's just me, and I'm just stuck. I got the GM in there washing dishes with me. I'm just like,
listen. When I went to Bartow work release first. That was a school where you can go get a GED and all that stuff there. Then I transferred from Bartow when I finished those classes, and I went to Tarpon Springs. So it's a restaurant. Lloyd Pappas up there. So that's where a lot of the guys would go work at. So I started off as a dishwasher, pretty easy. You load up the dishes in the rack, run them through the machine, you got to spray them down. So a guy got sent back to prison who was the pot man. So I'm thinking, because he got his own little room back there, I'm thinking, okay, I could really be back there chilling. Man, I take that position to be that pot man. And when I would come in that next morning, man, it would be pots from the floor to the ceiling. I'm talking about food still in them and everything, man. And I was like, boy, that was the worst mistake I ever made. And one of my big takeaways from even with that is like I'm built to be an entrepreneur. Like I know, like eventually I want to work for myself. I want to be able to do my own thing. Cause man, like me having to clean up everybody's leftovers, you know what I'm saying? That shit wasn't cool with me, man. I remember my first day out, and I want to share this. Then we're gonna move back into something. My first day out, man. The only thing I had planned was I was gonna go see my mama. I got out on January 11th. She thought I was getting out on January the 13th. And,
my birthday.
The 13th? Yeah. She thought I was getting out on January the 13th. And I came out, went and saw her. She cried, I cried, spent some time with her. After that, I was right back in the alley. I was in the trap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this to say that I realized how important it is to develop a plan before I get out of prison. Did you have a plan when you got out, or did you kind of? I was right back at the club. I was right back smoking reefer. As a matter of fact, when my homeboy picked me up from work release, he had a cigar that he had dumped all the tobacco out and put like a half an ounce of reefer in it. I'm coming from the work release center smoking a big joint. But I ain't had no plan. And what ended up happening was I got out in January. In May, I got rearrested. And I went to trial for a whole year. And the same judge that sent me to prison, I had to go right back to him. And I ended up getting locked back up within like months of me being out, man, because I got out. I didn't have no plan. Was that what it was for you? Or what was yours like?
Because I say with all those different mentors, like when you in there, you gotta figure out something. So it's like I came home and I had a letter from one person I looked up as a mentor. Like, man, you need to get you a team, man. You need to have somebody that's personal trainer. You need to have somebody that's doing this, If you're gonna be doing the music, man, make sure y'all have the cameraman, this, that, and that. And he had a whole layout for it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, for the longest I ignored it, but I had it. I still got it. And it's just like it's stuff that I've been touching on now and actually applying. So like there, like a lot of people write music. Someone be talented.
Yeah.
If you don't come out and like really apply yourself, like the average person, like you think it's easy. Like my perception of music, I thought I was gonna come out, make a song, and I was just gonna blow up.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the business side or networking or none of that. So it's like I got out, I'm making music on my laptop. I'm tagging other people let me on Facebook, and it's just like that ain't even marketing or promoting. That's aggravating.
Yeah.
So it's just like quality bad, everything. To me, it was the best song ever, but it's like it was hot shit now that I know now.
Yeah.
But it's just like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Man, y'all some haters. My music good. It's like, it's a lot of people who come out, go through that same thing, and I'll be trying to, like, I can't really teach them because they don't understand. You got to be coachable. You got to have mentors. You got to let people help you.
Yeah.
You feel you can do it all on your own, then I'm going to wait till you stop feeling like that. Because you're going to see how hard it is. You're going to think everybody against you, people hating, but it's a business side. You need marketing. You need promotion. You need all this stuff. You need to actually purchase your beats, not getting them off YouTube for free and doing stuff wrong.
Get some
So,
of
like,
that mix and master good, yeah.
I already went through this, and quality is what key. I done had plenty mentors and plenty of advice. Like DJ Davi, when he was on 94.1, he was telling me, like, man, get that one single, everybody, like, put everything behind it. I ignored that advice for the longest. And it's like, man, I done had a lot of good advice from a lot of people that's already successful with the route that they took through the music industry.
Yeah, at some point, I remember Pliers had a song, You Gotta Take Risks. At some point, you have to say either this gonna work or it's gonna work. You know, if you really want to see something maturate and become something. I know a lot of people, like, they say, like, you gotta have 7 different streams of income. But I believe, and I kind of know to be true, that you develop one, that one pours into 2, 2 pours into 3. It happens like that instead of putting your hands on a bunch of things. So even with your music, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Like with anything in life, people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, at some point you have to if you want to see. If you really want to see what something can become, like you said, you got to get 100% dialed in all the way behind it. And your attitude got to be either this going to work or it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? So that's a key thing that they taught you. And a lot of people don't have, and this was crazy to me, Sevv, that we have a lot of courage when it comes to robbing, selling dope, doing a lot of things we did that landed us in prison. But we don't have a lot of courage to pursue our own dreams, to pursue the things we feel like we called to do, destined to do, as we talked about, things that are along our journey. Why do you think we can pull a gun, shoot, and rob, but we scared to stand behind our dream? We scared to open up a business. We scared to open up a barbecue stand. We scared to open up a lawn cutting business. What's your take on that? Because you know, you seen it. You know, we seen some cats badass, bro. They'll draw down, slang out all that, and get out here and won't pursue nothing. What's the disconnect with that? What you think?
So what I've learned from that, me personally, is like they know the potential they got, but then they go to people who don't already downplay their own potential. And they go to listen to them. Oh man, don't do that. That's stupid. They let that get in their head versus let that shit go one end out the other and do what they want and see where it takes them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, be people that try to give good advice but won't take any. And it's like, me, when I really like wanted to do the music back in the day and I was trying to include people and have like a team, nobody wanted to take a trip or they plan a group trip. Oh man, something just happened. My dog died, my whatever. Boom, and it's like, now I'm by myself, hopping on a Greyhound. I done went to Atlanta. I met some Slaughter Gang, which is 21 Savage's artist, his label. I went to Miami. I ran to YG. Jay Khaled's son's birthday. It was like 2018. It was at Live. I was in there the night before. And I was drunk as shit. I fell over the back of the couch. My ID fell out my pocket, so I went back trying to find my ID. YG walking through the lobby and all his homies. So I'm walking up, they all just like turned around and just like they was ready to get on my ass because like I got kind of close, but it's just like people that other people discourage them.
Yeah.
So it's like me, I stopped doing that. I know what I'm trying to do. I know what the people who are helping elevate me are expecting of me. So it's like that's what really matters. So like to touch on what you were saying about one thing pours to the other. So from music, I gaining sponsors. I got a magazine sponsor. I got two of them. One focuses on music and one focuses on modeling.
Okay.
So the one that focuses on modeling only publishes women.
You're a
like,
model?
Okay.
Oh, I thought these.
I do model too,
Okay.
but that specific sponsor only publishes women. So it's like, man, open your own modeling agency. I did that because one of my goals was to have my own magazine. So by the time I get that established, I'll already have models that I can publish. So I got one signed model so far. We just did her first couple shoots. We did a brand, Spray Ground, a big brand out of New York, bags and book packs and stuff. And then she did like 3 shoots for the actual magazine. She did a Valentine, Latina edition, and Rock Goddess, which was like black leather and stuff.
Okay. So this is like a digital magazine, or is it going to be an actual?
It's a physical.
Physical, but it will be also
everything. Yeah.
something socially moved around too. Okay.
So it's both of them. The other one's Under Wraps magazine out of Dallas.
Okay.
So that focuses more on music and stuff.
So is it access to that magazine
Yeah,
here?
both of them.
I'm saying people here can access it.
Physically?
Yeah. How do
Should
they
be.
get 'em?
I know you can order them online because I order them online, I think from Mag Cloud or something.
Okay. Okay. No,
definitely-
because if you got some work in there, we'll post that stuff on the screen so people could tap in and check it out. That's deep. That's dope, dog. I didn't know you. I knew you was into the music, and that's to go to show you. You say one thing pulls into another. You know?
Yeah, because it's like once you start getting around certain people, then you got people want to try to be around you. So it's like, okay, now you got to serve a purpose. Okay, you just want to be around whatever. Okay, what can you do? Like,
Yeah. Your brain
ain't
to the
finna come
table.
to the table with an empty plate.
And that's the second time you said that because you were saying earlier, because I wanted to hit on that a lot of times what we don't do is we don't change our environment. We don't change the people we be around. And what kills me is this cold thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us get out of prison. A lot of us have dreams. A lot of us have things we want to pursue. But we so committed to the code instead of committed to ourselves and our kids and our family that the code, and I ain't talking about the snitch code, the code that, you can't leave the hood. You can't disassociate yourself and your friends because you can still, like I got homeboys from the streets that we ain't talking years. If I bump into them, it's going to be all love. But they understand, like, I'm building something. And what I'm building, I have to surround myself with people like this. I have to surround myself with people who see the vision and people who have a heart for what I'm building. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of us, man, we so to that code that this where I always been. These my dogs. We went to school together. We did time together. We did crime together. And sometimes, bro, you got to cut that off. You don't cut them off, but that type of affiliation, you got to cut it off. Prime example, when I got out of prison, I wanted to do real estate. So I went to, and this was an example of how I didn't cut it off, and it probably still haunted me financially to this day. I went to the Bob Holt School of Real Estate, did everything, did my real estate classes, passed my real estate test. So now I got to do the level 3 background check. It's an FBI check before you go take your final, so you could be a legal real estate agent. So they do my background check, run it out, so it's a red flag. Of course, I done been to prison, everything, red flag. So they put my license on involuntary, because I didn't do it, involuntary inactive status. They sent me a letter. And the letter says I have to go to Orlando to appear to a hearing. And I had to discuss why I should be allowed to sell real estate in the state of Florida, being a felon. Cool, one of them obstacles we got. So now I'm doing this, I'm still in the alley. We was right over off 31st. I'm still in the alley. I don't even smoke no more, but all my homeboys still smoke, drinking, all that. I just hang around. I don't sell dope no more, I don't sell weed no more. I got a little job and I'm pursuing this. So when they ask me what's going on, I'm telling them, man, I got to go to the hearing and tell them why I need to sell real estate. And instead of these jokers saying, Chuck, going to do that, hey, man, them crackers ain't going to get you nothing and you been to prison. And that what was in my ear, and I never went. And all I had to do was probably go and just say, I'm a changed man. I changed my life and I want to whatever. I probably just had to give a reason why I need to sell it. But because of the cats because of that code, I I was still committed to that. Yeah, I still got to hang around these cats and these the cats. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I was locked up, nobody sent me no money. You know what I'm saying? These same dudes who I came right out the street ran by, ain't nobody sent me a dime. You know what I'm saying? And I was so committed and loyal to that. And the words, because I was loyal to them, their words had power. I never went, dog. And who knows financially what my life would have been if I'd have drove to Orlando, because I drive to Orlando every weekend like it ain't nothing, and did that hearing, got my license, and I would have been selling real estate for about the past 15 years. But that just go to show, sometimes, man, as we hate it, that cold shit ain't nothing, bro. Like, at some point, you got to make a decision for you, for what you want, and those who are attached to your family and things like that. So, I like how you say that. I think just we got to break that commitment. And as the older we get, like, I'm finna turn 50, so it's like, it's real serious with me about my kids, my family, my girl, and that kind of stuff there, man. That's my code. And I think as felons, at some point we have to reestablish a code because we've been sworn into it. Like that song say, some people born in it, some people sworn in it. I wasn't born in it. I wasn't born in no poverty-stricken situation. We living at the bottom of the projects where my parents had jobs. I was fascinated with the streets. I chose that, so I was sworn into that. And we got to break them codes, man. And that's what this is about. Appreciate you rocking the merch. That Felons Ain't Failure podcast. Even though we felons, we not failures. You know what I'm saying? But we have to break free from some things, man, that have been attached to us from the lives we live. And sometimes that's the code to the streets and the niggas we grew up and run with. Because I got homeboys that still do the same thing that we was doing when I was in high school. What you talking? 30 years later, and they still catching plays. And I don't knock nobody hustling. People do what they got to do. But to be 30 years still catching plays on your phone, 30 years still sitting in alleys, gambling, smoking weed, selling weed, like at some point you got to disassociate yourself from that code. And sometimes that means leaving the people you know, not stop loving them. You love them, but leaving the people you know to build new relationships in life that help you.
Nah, so it's like I'm kind of facing that right now as far as like people I grew up with. Even though I did 10 years.
Yeah.
So now like I'm in a relationship. So it's like I gotta consider my girl's time.
Shout out to the relationship.
Yeah. I gotta consider her time now because any extra time is coming out of the time that I could spend with her.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all could have wrote me and made me consider more of wanting to go try to hang out or link with y'all. So now, okay, if I got an event, you better pull up there. That's the only time you're gonna see me. I don't even live in St. Pete no more. So when I'm out here, it's like I want to go be out here for a purpose.
Yeah.
I'm linking with family or, you feel me, someone that's elevating me. So I'm not too much trying to just hang with dudes, bro. Like I done did too much of that.
Definitely. You see where it got you, and I like that. I like that you use that word. We got it right there. Purpose. Never dies. There's purpose in everything we do. That's how we move with motion. Like you say, this family, whatever, we have to start establishing more purpose. Too many of us out here still throwing bricks at the chain gang, still just living without no purpose. But I want to talk about something. We had a brief conversation as we get ready to wrap this up. Because yesterday we talked about something. I told you I was uneducated about it. And I think a lot of people are. But from the aspect of you and your journey, your religion. And, so give you a chance to introduce it. Because I don't even want to mess it up what I call it. Because I tried to say it to him. I think I said it wrong. But it's an opportunity to educate me about it. Educate those who watching about it. Like you said, how people will see movies and think prison one way. Sometimes people can see what other people choose as their path for religion and just go off the stigma of what television and what people have said about it. So what you was telling me, just talk about like your guided journey, how you get into it, the name of it, and what it does for you.
All right, so first off, it's called Ifa, which comes from Nigeria. And you got a traditional...
Ifa.
Yeah, Ifa, okay. IFA.
Okay.
The traditional is Isheshe, and then you got the part that went through Cuba as the migrating slaves and stuff. It was called Lukami. And I'm part of that lineage, the Cuban lineage.
Okay.
But it's like the overall message, it's like it's to bring you to the path that's meant for you.
Okay.
And it's teaching you, or like you go get spiritual readings. Readings like, hey Chuck, like I told you, don't do business in threes, stay away from crowded areas. Because it's like within that time span, something that's gonna come up that can knock you off your path. And it could be real damaging, like health-wise, financial-wise, and it's different possibilities. But it's like if you don't listen, you're gonna see if it works or not. Because I,
Mhm.
like I say, every reading I had, bad or good, nothing happened. I got told something, I didn't listen to what I was told to avoid, and the bad thing happened. And it's just like, when it comes to the worship part of it, like we believe in Orishas, which to us, like they're deities, but each one is, like I say, synchronized with like a different element.
Okay.
So you got me, I'm a child of Ogun. He's synchronized with metal.
Okay.
Anything that got metal in it, all this like cars, automobiles, anything with metal. So it's just like we give back like praise to the elements and our ancestors because it's like they work for us every day,
Mhm.
whether you see them or not. So it's like it's little stuff that they ask. You feel me? Like at the end of a reading, it might be like your ancestor wants some fruit or some pastries. You give an offering.
Okay.
Because like in other cultures and religions, like they do that. In Asian cultures, when a family member died, you got the altar for them. They'll bring food, fruits, and it's the same thing with us. It
So it's
just
more like an ancient. It's like an ancient way of worship.
yeah, it's
Okay.
just like the way it's perceived because of like like I say, the media and other stuff. Because we don't go and force nobody to join. Like this is something you got to make a personal choice to do. So it's like, and once you actually get around it, you be like, oh, this all y'all doing? It's like
Yeah.
a family.
Because I think it has a portrayal of, and maybe some things go deeper, like witchcraft, and I think that's what people think of a lot of, because they think of sacrificing animals and people doing black magic and stuff. So dispel that. Is there a tie to witchcraft? Because now keep in
So
mind, we talked yesterday. I'm telling you, I don't
yeah,
know anything, so I'm
yeah.
asking out of education for myself and for those who may be watching who may not understand.
So when you are a high priest, you're actually legally allowed to sacrifice animals for that religious purpose.
Okay.
Animal cannot be tortured. That's illegal. But then it's like you're in one religion that's like of this dysphoria because other stuff like voodoo and all
Yeah.
that stuff, like there's nothing stop you from joining those also. So if a person is part of different type of stuff where it's primarily used for harming people, that don't mean that what we're doing is wrong. It just
Okay.
means that person is in different stuff. Or it could be somebody that isn't E5 with negative intent, but E5 isn't really used to harm people.
Gotcha.
Like I say, it's for that individual to find the best path that's meant for them,
Okay.
not to harm people.
Okay, so it sounds like more of a guided spiritual journey.
Yes.
Yeah, and see, and that's why, and we're gonna come back because we're gonna really talk about some different stuff. But that's why I wanted you to kind of introduce it, just so we can kind of like break the ice on it, so people can understand that everybody who's involved with it is not in witchcraft, whether they have their own perception. Like you say, people can have evil intents and do more with it. But I do have a question because, and I'm just curious for me, like with what I believe, like. So when I gave my life to Christ, but not the Christ that's on the white pictures in the churches, not that type. I do believe that there was a spiritual being that was created that died for my sins and all that stuff there. But upon me accepting that and opening my life to that, like I could feel a spiritual transformation. Like I can feel like a lot. Like even when I was on the phone with my mama said, I didn't tell her what happened. She said I was in jail. She said, I hear a light coming out of your voice, but I can feel like I can't even explain it, cleansed, washed. I felt a spiritual transformation upon what you got into. Does that take place? Do you feel like you become a different, like remade, recreated, like a clean new being, or is it more or less just guidance on how to move in life? I'm just curious. Like, is there like, I guess what I'm saying is, and it took me a minute to get to this. Forgive me. Is there like a spiritual transformation because we are spirit beings? So is there a spiritual transformation that you can feel, that you can sense, that makes you different? That do you experience that when you came into that?
Yeah, so that's primarily happens more as you initiate.
Okay.
You initiate, you're basically born again. So you're going through ceremonies and stuff. It's like we got baptism and other ceremonies too.
Okay.
So it's just like as you go through more ceremonies, like you're building your spiritual levels. So it's like readings are just the base of it. You cannot be initiated and go get a reading.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you still, like I say, you listen to advice given it to them, you'll see it work.
Okay.
So it's like
Is that reading? Is that like psychic? Like how people like how a psychic is, or is it?
That's similar, but even those, like I had someone do tarot, and it was right before my initiation. She was like, "Oh, a crowd of people gonna be coming to celebrate you soon." I ain't telling nothing about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, "Oh, this and that and that," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to initiate and this and like on point."
So you talking about tarot cards?
Yeah,
See, when we hear that, it sounds like now you're getting into Ouija boards, and you know what I'm saying. Just how
Yeah.
people can misunderstand like what you believe and what you're pursuing and how you're being guided in life. And I think that's just the disconnect with it. Just being able to have somebody who actually lives it, pursue it, to kind of be able to talk about it. Because I think even with my limited understanding, I consider all of it to be darkness. But even how you said it today it's more of a spiritual guided journey. No different than somebody who do Buddhist. Unless they move off into that evil intent side of it. Then you say you start getting into that voodoo and people can
even there,
understand.
like, so when you dealing with stuff like that, and some of them, to them, like, it's not evil. Like, a spirit doesn't pick or choose. They're there to work. So if
Mhm.
you send a spirit to go hurt somebody, it might not be evil to them because, feel me? That's what they're there for. Because you got some, like, that might be what they do. They thrive off negativity. That's just, like, what they do.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like I say, it's a person's intent. Like I say, you can hire 2 felons. 1 in 10 is to be a hard worker, and 1 in here stealing from the job.
Yeah.
It's a person's intent. So it don't, you feel me? It's been more publicized as bad. Like in some movies, you got people wearing stuff that we wear in our religion, but they're doing human sacrifices, and we don't do none of that.
Okay.
So I watched the movie Tax Collector with Shia LaBeouf and
Mhm.
basically like some Mexicans in Cali, like Mexican mob or whatever. But there was a dude in there that came from Mexico. He got all these necklaces on, and then he got all this chalk on the wall and sacrificing chicks in the room, and we don't do none of that.
Yeah.
But people see those necklaces and then see somebody who's actually in our religion, and God, he's like, nah, we do not do that.
Yeah. Same way they do us as see us and think we what the stigma say we are. So as we wrap up today, man, tell us what life looked like for Sevv now. After prison, after everything, on a spiritual guided journey.
So like right now, like things are great for me, man. Life's great. Got a good relationship going. I just picked up an artist that I'm gonna be mentoring that's 16, LUH_Franco.
Okay.
FRANKO, Trade-Fo. So Lil Franco, I'm mentoring him. Still working on getting my magazine. The year ain't even halfway through yet, but it's a lot of stuff that I got lined up. Tours on the way. It's a lot of stuff that's coming back around that I've been invited to and part of, but I'm just waiting on it to unfold.
Okay. So if anybody want to tap into your music, where can they tap? How can they tap? Or just be still and wait till the release. How it's coming.
So it's like my mom took me to the studio Thanksgiving in December, where I actually found my sound. So
Okay.
I got a song that we did on Christmas that I'll actually be promoting soon, dropping and doing a video. Because it's like, that was my downfall. It was no visuals.
Yeah.
I finally got for sure cameraman with 6K, and we'll make sure everything is like A1. Like, I know the quality I need now and what standards I need to meet. So it's like coming the right way. But it's Easty Dreams, EASKTY_dreams on IG.
Okay, we'll drop it on the. Okay, well, appreciate it, man. Glad you came through. We had a chance to chop it up. Fella next interview, want people just to understand that we people just like them. We got dreams and we in pursuit, man. This Chuck, man, Coach Chuck, Felons Ain't Failure podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
3, 2, 1.